Hey Sam, how are you, buddy?
Hey, good, thanks. Long time no see.
I know, man. It's been too long, far too long. It's been.
Uh,
Let's not say how long it is. Let's keep it a secret to anybody who's listening. But gosh, man, I remember those days. Very, very fond memories. The trio and some of the work we did with
yeah,
Dr. Wooter. Later, he got his
yeah,
PhD.
Dr. Walter. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel left out. I'm the only one that hasn't got a doctorate.
Well, if
You
he's
know,
listening in, let's give him a big wave and hello.
I say hi. Hi.
Maybe one day I'll get him on here. Who knows? Um,
Yeah.
let's go back to the very beginning, Sam, if you don't mind. Let's go back to the very beginning of where you thought about hospitality. Tell us about your hospitality background and how you reached this point in your life.
Wow. Hey, how long have we got?
The condensed version.
No problem. So basically, I've been in hospitality, and yes, I know I don't look that old. I'm fresh-faced, but I've been in and around the hospitality business now for 26 years. First started back in the mid-90s, I guess. Studied, did some work experience at Glen Eagles, which has just recently been voted one of the best, if not the best.
I didn't know that one, Sam.
Yeah.
We share something in common we didn't even know even back in the day.
Really?
I worked for Glen Eagles, yeah.
Are you serious?
Many years ago. I mean, I had a flowing golden hair back then.
I was there. Now, this is definitely showing my age now. I was there for the summer of 95.
No way.
Yeah.
I got to look back. I was there. I graduated in 90. I must have been there 94.
Okay. The year before me.
When they built, when you went, did they have the new accommodation for staff? How they built it? Yeah. I was one of the first to get into that new accommodation. It was really nice.
Serious.
Yeah.
They were really nice, actually.
They were really nice.
So very quickly, there's a very funny story here. Yeah. I was meant to go up and work in the laundry, right?
Okay.
As for my work experience, but when I got there, the head housekeeper said, "Nope, you're going to be a room attendant."
Okay.
But it wasn't at the time. They didn't say room attendant. They said chambermaid. So I was a chambermaid.
Right.
Had to clean 15 rooms, and bro, that was tough for me. So as a punishment, I don't know why this worked out. I decided that I was going to get another job doing something that I did want to do. So I worked in the staff bar as well. So yeah.
Brilliant. We're digressing, but I just gotta say, I was at the Dormy house and served. You know, they had the big golf opens there, so served some of the giants.
I mean, I was there during the Jackie Stewart Celebrity Challenge.
Brilliant.
Stephen Henry had his wedding whilst I was up there. Yeah, fantastic.
Anyway, let's get back to your career.
So yeah, so I was working up there. Didn't quite manage to finish my studies. Had to go into the family business. Then just kind of fell into left the family business. Went into security. From security, corporate security, went into hotel security. And I've always obviously been interested in hotels. So moved through night management, front office management, operations management until we met when I decided I had a period of time where I was looking for a job and struggling because I didn't have a degree. And, you know, sort of back in the mid 2000s, everything was done by algorithm. And if you didn't have a degree, you weren't getting considered for jobs and things like that. So I decided to come and met you at London Met, and the rest of the history. I've been, since I left there, London Met, I've been in and out of either hotel technology or hotel operations.
Yeah, I think there's a great lesson there, I think, because a lot of people might be scared, especially now where we're going under tremendous pressure and people are thinking, oh, I can't do it. And I think your story about being able to do a degree hits the mark, doesn't it? And people think sometimes, I mean, I've even been accused of snobism by some guy. We had a little bit of a row over LinkedIn where, you know, he was saying degrees, you know, why people put degrees when they want to hire somebody. And I get the point, but at the end of the day, it's like saying, why people are running a marathon when you can't run one yourself. Well, try first to run a marathon, and then you can start judging about marathon and what have you. And this is it. I never thought I could have a PhD or a degree or a master's, and you never thought, or not. You didn't think. We both had the audacity, if you like, to try and push.
Right. Yeah. And the thing was, it came to me. I mean, I had been working in hotels for years.
Yeah.
On and off. And to be honest, I don't think ultimately or eventually I would have needed the degree.
Yeah.
But what actually compelled me to do it was the fact that all the jobs seemed to want a degree. So that was kind of, I was ticking a box, basically.
It started as a ticking a box. Did you ever regret the time? And did you learn something you weren't expecting to learn?
No. Listen, I'm so grateful that I had the time and the opportunity to do the degree. Because even though I didn't have a typical university experience, because it was a day university and I was also working at the time, I was a mature student at the time, I guess. But what it meant was that there are a lot of things such as different ways of learning, different ways of doing analysis, all of the things that I guess I wouldn't have learned, the theory side of things that I wouldn't have learned on the job.
Yeah.
On the job is the best, for me, on the job is the best form of learning. I'm not going to lie, I have to be honest. But with regards to going to study and to learn and understand the theory behind what you do and what happens, that's invaluable, because I've learned so much and I've applied so much of it in the times since I went to uni. And then I realized that I was applying some of that, what I've learned before, but didn't understand.
Thank you.
Exactly what I was doing and so on. Does that make sense?
Thank you. That's the point I'm trying to make. Even people who have amazing experience, they always need to be validated. But if you actually went through that reflective period and thinking that it's kind of protected, that's what happens when you study, then you know what you know. You never don't know what you don't know. But
you don't know.
But when you do the degree, you know what you know, and you can apply it again and again, and you don't need the validation, and you don't lose the time that some colleagues are losing when they keep on questioning themselves. No, thank you. That is exactly what I'm trying to tell.
Yeah, no, the time was invaluable, and you meet people that you do make friends for life, and you meet them at certain parts again, throughout your life and throughout your career. And the business of hospitality is a really small
family
business. I mean, we say there are a lot of people in hospitality, but it is a small and family. Yeah. That's exactly it. It's a small family.
Yeah, man. Tell me, what is, I mean, right now you're in, am I right in saying you're in IT?
Yes, you're right in saying. So I'm back in hospitality technology. Well, back in technology.
Yeah.
Work for a company called Sertifi.
Yeah.
And we have an agreements platform that allows businesses to utilize electronic signatures, but also collect payments at the same time. We have a strong foothold in hospitality and hotels, conference centers and so on, where we allow them to send contracts and finalize contracts, BEOs and things electronically, have their customers sign them, also be able to collect deposits at the same time, and so on and so forth. So yes, I'm in the IT space.
Yeah, that was important to ask, because again, I like my guests to tell us a little bit more about how wide hospitality is, because some parents and some school advisors think hospitality is just hotels and restaurants, which is my background, but actually such a wide area. And when you do your degree, and the transferable skills can take you anywhere, and your hospitality experience is extremely valuable no matter what field you get into. So with all these years of experience in hospitality and various hospitality organizations, what's that one moment? And you can include your study as well in hospitality if that was part of it. But what was the one memorable moment in your hospitality career, if you like, that sort of stands out?
Listen, people ask me this question, and there've just been so many. I mean,
it's a hard one, isn't it?
it's too hard. It's literally too hard, because there are some things that I can talk about. There are some things that I can't talk about, especially on camera. I was talking to someone actually this weekend, and back in 2003, right. I was assistant operations manager at the Hilton London Metropole. Okay. And my boss was on holiday, and we had the biggest conference London had seen for a very long time. So it's called the Progressive Governance Conference.
Okay.
And we had about 45 different country leaders. So presidents, prime ministers of countries of the non-aligned movement, I guess. Yeah. And it was being hosted by Tony Blair. Bill Clinton was attending. It was top security. I had search arches in the building. We were still open for guests, but they took up half them. And if you know the Metropole, for those of you who don't know the Metropole, I guess, it's 1,058 bedrooms, 56 bedrooms. It's a huge building. And we had sniffer dogs, we had bomb search teams, we had snipers on various roofs. And the funniest things were the calls that I was getting. I was coordinating the security and operations side of it. And obviously the meetings and events team were doing, the meeting side of it and everything else. And I kept on getting calls from guests saying, I don't know if you know, but there's a man with a gun on your roof. And things like that. And people just like looking at this sniffer dog, just like going through the lobby again and stuff like that. And, I mean, that weekend, and it started. And this is what I love about hospitality. I moved into the hotel on Wednesday evening.
Right.
The conference started, the first day of the conference started on the Thursday, finished on the Saturday, I think it was, and on the Sunday, actually. And I left the hotel on the Monday. And literally, I could count on one hand the number of hours that I slept over that period. It was crazy, but it was fun. Oh. It was hard work, but it was fun.
I mean, I don't. We gotta have a non-call call where we don't record anything. Where you tell me the other stories, if that's the one you can share.
I've met a few people in my time. Met a few people in certain situations in my time. I've always been sort of in the operations side of things. So night management, front office management, operations management.
When are we getting the Sam memoirs? When are you writing the book?
So back in the day, I don't know if you remember, but there was a TV series called Hotel Babylon.
Oh yeah, I remember that one.
And at the time when it came out, everyone was like, "Oh, we wonder who wrote this," and we were all trying to work out who wrote it. And there was a rumor that it was a concierge and stuff like that. But quite literally, every single episode and all the stories that happened, happened to me or one of my colleagues or something like. Literally. So I think somebody's beat me to that, but yeah, there are some things that have happened that I can never speak of again. Let's put it that way.
Now, Sam, you've done quite a lot in your career, and I think people want to know what keeps productive people productive. So if you take one of your days that one of your best days, what is the elements that make a day productive in hospitality?
So if I'm talking about within hotel operations, there are a couple of things that really need to be present for you to have, and this is anybody within the property, within the hotel, for them to be successful.
Yeah.
You have to have the right team. and you have to have the right tools. We all do it. We go to work, we check out who we're working with today, and we all have that certain set of colleagues that we love to work with. You know, you go to work and you're like, yes, we're going to have a great day. It's going to be hard. We've got 2 weddings in the same building and a birthday party, but it's going to be fantastic because this team, I have faith in this team. We work well together. And that's what I mean. You have to have the right team. But having the right team isn't just about, I like working with this person or that person, but giving the whole team the right information, the right training, helping them and mentoring them for them to understand that they are an important wheel of the cog, right? Yeah, I'm the operations manager, but the receptionist is even more important sometimes than I am, because the guests will walk into the front door and they will see that receptionist first. And that's their first experience of the hotel. Usually I only speak to that guest either because the guest is very unhappy because of, be it the first experience that they had, or the fact that, you know, the housekeeper who is very important to them clean their room properly, or so on and so forth. Or I'm speaking to that guest because they're having a really good time and I'm asking them, how's your stay going? And they're telling me effusively that it's great. I love the hotel, or, you know, I love your space. So that's the one thing, the team. The other thing, the tools. I'm in hotel technology. I've always loved hotel technology. Being a night manager back in the 90s and early 2000s, I was the de facto IT manager, because once the IT manager leaves at night, in the evening, sorry, the night manager will be the next guy, because we always had the systems crashing and things having to reset things and this and that. And it wasn't as easy as it is now. You know, there was some in-depth coding or fixing or, you know, stuff going on.
You know, that's another thing we share, right? I was a night manager with the days where Fidelio would just...
please. I didn't want to mention it, but now you've mentioned it.
Well, sorry. I think they're much better now. Ooh, we put out...
I've got to say, they are much better now. But yeah, I mean, back in the day, the amount of times I had to run a night audit and do a Findex fix. And
I used to get calls. Did you ever used to get calls from other night managers who didn't know how to calculate RevPAR, and you had to explain over the phone, this is how you calculate RevPAR?
Yeah. So back in those days, we were allowed to do, you know, phone your competitors and get numbers and figures and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, you know, we had a big old network, and yeah, every now and again they'll be like, Sam, I'm having a problem. Can you help me with X, Y, Z? And I'll be like, yeah, well, you know. So yeah, I mean, I miss those days. But yes, the tools. You get so frustrated, you know, right? Absolutely. Sometimes my night audit would crash, and it would crash 2 or 3 times overnight. And then, you know, at 7 o'clock in the morning, I'm still waiting for Fidelio to call me back to tell me that they've fixed it. And I'm sitting there and I've not finished my work yet. How am I going to be happy in my job, you know?
Disclaimer, these were days many years ago. Fidelio has, what are they now? Opera something 20 point. They are great now. A lot of hotels are using them. And if they're listening in, the great thing about them, a few years back, they started finally, which is what was one of my little grumbles. They made the package for small businesses. Yeah, and they were selling it in really reasonable pricing. So there you go. Hopefully we won't get a lawsuit.
No. We'll be all right. We'll be all right.
All right. Go on. So you're saying about how technology is important.
Yeah. So if you don't have, you've got to give your team members the tools to do the work you want them to do. If you want your business to be successful, listen to your team members. When they tell you, this isn't working, this printer keeps breaking down and it's frustrating, you're going to save £200 to buy a new printer. But the amount of frustration and worry and grief it's going to give your staff, the knock-on effects that will happen with the guests, it's not worth it. Give people the tools they need to do the job, be it hardware, be it software, be it whatever. Just give them the tools. I've been with Sertifi now for a year, and the past year, obviously, we know the hospitality industry is taking a hit somewhat. But I have been speaking to so many businesses in this time because, as my role in Director of International Sales, I still need to try and deliver my products to businesses. But I've been speaking to so many businesses, and they want to go digital. And these are the hospitality industry has oftentimes been one that technology has really taken a backseat, right? So technology is not really necessary. Hotels or hospitality businesses haven't really been, some have, but they haven't really sort of been forward thinking and, hey, let's use this.
They tend to invest in heavy legacy systems that stay there for many, many years, long past the life of a computer. I mean, you're supposed to change the computers every 5 years, but you know, and I know that.
You walk into a building and yeah, there's a thing with a reel-to-reel in the back.
You get one with the old floppy disk. No, you don't get that one. I mean,
yeah.
This brings me nicely into what has happened. What I think has happened recently, and I don't know if you agree, Sam, but I find that society and everything is changing, and we almost, I mean, we were already in a digital era, but we're changing, fast forwarding into a super digital era where people realize what technology can actually do. They're adopting this teleconferencing, and how has that affected your business, and how do you think hospitality might be changing through this this new approach to all things digital?
Yeah, you're right. Hospitality has had to pivot very, very quickly. And it has really, people have really understood now what technology can do. People have become less afraid of technology and what it can do. So, especially with regards to, again, you know, the systems that I sell, for instance, our systems allow hotels and hoteliers where they've been working from home to still do the collaboration that they want to do, to send the documents, to get things signed off, agreements signed and everything else electronically for a relatively low cost. And it's not something that they would have thought about before. I mean, it seemed to me like everyone likes a wet signature. I don't know, I don't understand. But now people are understanding, oh yeah, actually, and people are using it in different ways within the building. So for instance, now, just recently, a hotel signed up. They're in the Netherlands, in the Amsterdam area. And they came up with a new use case that I haven't heard of a hotel doing before, where they're using it to digitize their whole night audit. So instead of printing, and you know what the night audit used to be like, yes, all those different reports and everything else, they now digitize everything. Yeah. They have digitized the whole process. So now they don't print anything at all. If they're missing dockets or whatever else, they send messages via my system, or the report or the form via Sertifi, and it goes to the person that needs to produce that docket. They can attach the docket to that form, send it back, sign off that this is their report for the day, and then that gets distributed electronically. And there's no paper involved, and it's immediate. And they've been like, this has transformed our business. This has saved time. This has saved money.
And I guess the right question to ask you specifically, Sam, is all about security and digital security, because I think one of the things that people are afraid and that still want, you know, sign it and put it through the post to me is this the essence of security. And we know that mobile phone security has been always better than desktops and laptops, but how, in your experience, how has it changed recently, and how much better is it?
It's so much better. And I mean, for instance, we allow people to take payments online.
Yeah.
How many people, just between March, when we first started going into lockdown, and now, how many people have adopted actual being a lot more trusting,
Yeah.
or a lot more willing to do online shopping and provide their credit card online and everything else?
Absolutely.
And PCI compliance and security and encryption and PSD2 has really meant that, and hoteliers and hospitality businesses have really understood that these things can be done securely, and there's not an issue. And it makes sense.
Brilliant.
It makes sense. And, you know, I speak to people who never really looked into it because they didn't want to do that and they didn't want to take that online. And so their processes were so long where it can take literally minutes,
So
less than an
you've been talking to a lot of clients, I'm guessing. I mean, that's, part of your job is to sell your products and get your team to sell the products.
It was also to travel, but my wings have been clipped a little bit. But yes,
So
I still
you travel digitally now, right?
exactly, yes.
So, having spoken to all these people, what do you think, and from your experience, what do you think might be one or two of the biggest issues that hospitality is facing today?
Well, obviously, there's the issue that one shall not name, which
Older
is,
model.
yeah, exactly, yeah. But one of the issues, I guess, that this has kind of thrown up is that, especially on the technology side, there are a lot of gaps.
Yeah.
That were, in hospitality, we always find a workaround. Yeah, we always solve the issue by finding a workaround. But these past few months have allowed hotels and hoteliers and hospitality businesses to reevaluate their processes and for them to look at technology that might help them. And that has been, I think, one of the things that have really, this pandemic period has really helped hotels with. The fact that systems were not with the times.
Yeah, they were not up to scratch. And do you find a lot of people step up? Do you find that a lot of them are willing to change, especially with low cash flow? And
well, yeah, I mean, the uncertainty and the low cash flow has been an issue in the, making investments with regards to IT and technology. But there's certainly now seeing and understanding the benefits and the value proposition that these technologies are enabling, and allow them to the synergies and the ease of processes that these systems are allowing them. So I think, whilst they might not have maybe the funds and things to do some, major IT capital projects or infrastructure projects, there are some very quick fixes that they can do that will help them, be it even save money on the things that they're doing now, or indeed save time and processes, time in processes for their businesses.
Well, this leads me nicely to the next one, because the next one is about some of the positive things that this, since March, what are the positive things that hospitality may be sort of drawing from this situation? And you already gave us one, which is, it's good to hear that the minds of certain people do change and they're investing into upgrading the technology. But is there anything else that you think is a positive because of the pandemic or because of the crisis that we're facing?
I think, I mean, I guess we've always known it. So we in the hospitality space have always known how important we are as a family together, but B, how important we are to, I guess, the nation in general. But you know, if there's anything that's come out now, it's the way the hospitality family has kind of really reached out to their communities, and how it's become apparent how important we are in society in general. You know, from, there's a hotel in Knightsbridge, the Berkeley, that were really, really at the forefront, that they did a drive-through for the emergency services, and, you know, that, just the things that hospitality businesses do. And it's not just the big hotels, it's the, you know, little cafe around the corner, and things like that. Just recently, you know, with the whole packed lunches, or the whole lunches for kids during the half term, the way the hospitality industry stepped up and said, hey, don't worry, we'll kick in some meals, and things like that. It's just amazing, the things that we do sometimes without fanfare and without, you know, national recognition or anything else. You know, it's amazing.
And thank you for that. That's I mean, I think I've said it before, but I will never stop saying how proud I am of hospitality in the UK, and how everybody pulled together. And you see examples again and again, and no matter what country you look at, you know, before the media were talking about the refugee crisis in Greece and Italy, and it still goes on. They've forgotten about that crisis. But once again, hospitality, and a lot of hospitality organizations came before all the NGOs were landing trying to help. It was, you know, the normal people, the common people, and hospitality organizations and small businesses that were helping out. So thank you. We can't stop reminding that to people, and how the importance of any size of hospitality organization in the locality and in the local communities. So with the last question in mind, because we've got predominantly, this is targeted for the young generations, because, you know, they're also going through tough mental times, because they've invested 3 years or 4 years in some cases, and they'll be graduating, you know, in end of May, June, July, around there, depending on which university they're at, and which country they're at. So what advice do you have to give those younglings about to enter or re-enter, if they did a placement, the world of hospitality?
The youngins. Listen, hospitality is going through a rough time. Hospitality, travel, we're all going through a rough time right now. But the one thing you can almost guarantee is that hospitality is never going to die. Hospitality isn't just, as you said earlier on, about hotels or restaurants or bars. Hospitality is a very wide and broad, I want to say vertical, but that's not the right word. It's there's a lot involved, and it can be, there are so many avenues and so many opportunities out there that don't have to be the typical, oh, he's a waiter, or he's a barman, or he's a chambermaid. No, there are so many different roles out there, and especially now with business intelligence and AI, for instance, is something huge, and they're using that within hospitality now. You know, there are so many opportunities that you might not think about typically or historically. Just be very open. Hospitality will come back. The travel business will come back. Eventually, we'll hopefully get a virus and, get a vaccine for the virus.
We'll also get another virus. It comes around in cycles. So,
but don't be disheartened. Don't be disheartened. You know, there will be opportunities. The hospitality business always transforms itself. It always, you know, people will always have a thirst for travel, for knowledge, for culture, for exploring new things and new places. And there's space for everyone, and for you to do the things you want to do within the hospitality sector.
I'll summarize there what I think you said, Sam. I think you talked about hospitality as a notion, not just as a one thing, as a job, or even as a career. I think from other conversations we had in the past, we both agree it's so much more. It's a lifestyle, isn't it? It's a way of thinking. It's a people-centric way of thinking. And if that's who you are, you will take it with you forever. I seem to keep on saying, you know, you can take Yanis out of the waiter, but you can't take the waiter out of Yanis. And I still think quite often as the young waiter with the golden flowing.
You sure you had golden flowing hair, my friend?
I know, I'm just making that up. They were flowing, they weren't golden. When I was a really, really small kid, I had sort of blonde. Sam, it's a pleasure. And I'm sorry we haven't kept in closer touch. We've exchanged messages and what have you on the various social media, but we should. It's a shame that we don't keep closer in touch. We need to get the three of us together.
It's never too late. And yes, Walter, if you're listening, we do need to get together. And I think we need to publish another paper together.
Brilliant. Sam, thank you so much. Have a lovely day. Have a lovely week.
Lovely to see you. Thank you so much. And keep up the good work.
Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye-bye.